The first time I saw the house, my wife was standing on the front porch with another man. She was smiling. Not the polite smile she gave strangers. Not the tired smile she gave me after long workdays. This was different. Warm. Happy. Personal. The kind of smile that once belonged only to me. I sat frozen in my truck across the street as she handed him a set of keys. Then the man wrapped his arms around her. And she hugged him back. For a moment, neither of them let go. My heart stopped. I remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my fingers hurt. My name is Ethan Parker. Until that afternoon, I believed my marriage was solid. Not perfect. But solid. My wife, Rachel, and I had been married for 18 years. We had survived layoffs, medical scares, raising a teenage daughter, and more arguments than I could count. I trusted her. Or at least, I thought I did. That trust started cracking 3 months earlier. At first, the changes seemed harmless. Rachel became secretive with her phone. She used to leave it on the kitchen counter. Now it never left her hand. If a text arrived, she'd turn the screen away. If I entered the room during a call, she'd suddenly lower her voice. One night I finally asked, "Everything okay?" She looked up from her phone. Of course. Who keeps calling? Work stuff. I frowned. At 10 at night? Her smile seemed forced. You know how busy things have been. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was overthinking. But something felt wrong. A week later, I noticed a bank withdrawal. $20,000. Rachel handled most of our finances. I usually didn't pay attention. But $20,000 was impossible to miss. When I asked about it, she immediately looked uncomfortable. It was an investment. What kind of investment? She hesitated. I'll explain later. Later never came. Instead, more strange things appeared. More withdrawals. More secret phone calls. More unexplained trips across town. Every answer felt incomplete. Every explanation created more questions. Then our daughter Ava noticed it too. One Saturday morning she walked into the kitchen while Rachel was texting. The moment Ava entered, Rachel locked her phone. Ava raised an eyebrow. Mom's acting weird. Rachel laughed nervously. I'm sitting right here. I'm just saying. Ava looked at me. Dad, tell me I'm wrong. I forced a smile. Your mom's fine. But the truth was, I wasn't sure anymore. Over the next month, things got worse. Rachel started disappearing for hours. Sometimes entire afternoons. Whenever I asked where she'd been, her answers were vague. Running errands. Meeting someone. Taking care of paperwork. Paperwork for what? She never said. One evening I came home early from work. Rachel wasn't there. Her laptop sat open on the dining table. I wasn't snooping. At least that's what I told myself. Then I saw the email. Property transfer documents. Attached were forms for a house purchase. My pulse quickened. A house. Rachel was buying a house. Without telling me. I opened the document. The address was unfamiliar. A small neighborhood nearly 40 minutes away. The buyer's name was Rachel Parker. Only Rachel Parker. Not Rachel and Ethan Parker. Just her. I stared at the screen. My stomach dropped. When she came home that evening, I confronted her. You bought a house? Her face went pale. For 1 second. Then she recovered. It's complicated. Try me. I can't explain yet. The frustration exploded inside me. Why does everything have to be a secret? She looked genuinely upset. I'm trying to protect something. What? I can't tell you. Those 4 words followed me for weeks. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Eventually those words became a wall between us. A wall growing taller every day. Then came the receipt. I found it in her coat pocket while hanging it in the closet. A furniture store. Over $8,000. Bedroom furniture. Dining table. Living room set. Everything needed to furnish an entire house. My hands shook. She wasn't just buying property. She was building a life somewhere else. A life without me. That night I barely slept. I kept replaying every conversation. Every secret. Every lie. Every missing hour. The next morning I made a decision I never thought I'd make. I followed my wife. Rachel left home around 10. I stayed 3 cars behind. She drove across town. Then farther. Eventually she turned into a quiet neighborhood lined with oak trees. And stopped in front of the exact house from the documents. My heart pounded. A black SUV was already parked outside. A man stepped out. Tall. Gray-haired. Maybe 65 years old. Rachel smiled the moment she saw him. The same smile. The one that haunted me. They carried boxes into the house together. Then disappeared inside. I waited. 20 minutes. 30. An hour. When they finally emerged, Rachel laughed at something he said. Then he touched her shoulder. Not casually. Affectionately. Like they shared something important. Something intimate. I felt sick. By the time Rachel returned home, I had convinced myself of the truth. My wife wasn't buying a house. She was buying a future. For another man. And what I discovered 3 days later made that belief almost impossible to deny. Because hidden inside Rachel's purse was a photograph that shattered what remained of my trust. And the man in the picture was standing beside her like they were a family. The photograph nearly slipped from my hands. Rachel was standing beside the gray-haired man. They were smiling. Between them stood a teenage girl I had never seen before. What caught my attention wasn't the girl. It was the way they were standing. Like a family portrait. The man's arm rested behind Rachel. The girl leaned toward both of them. Anyone looking at that picture would assume they were related. I stared at it for several minutes. Then I looked at the date printed in the corner. 3 months ago. Exactly when Rachel's secretive behavior had started. My chest tightened. 3 months of lies. 3 months of hiding things from me. 3 months of watching our marriage slowly unravel. And now I had proof. Or at least what felt like proof. That evening Rachel walked into the kitchen carrying groceries. I placed the photograph on the counter. Her face immediately lost color. Ethan. Who are they? She didn't answer. Rachel. Her hands trembled. It's not what you think. I laughed bitterly. That's what people say when it is exactly what I think. She closed her eyes. Please trust me. Trust you? I pointed at the photo. You're buying a house with another man. No. You've been meeting him for months. It's not like that. You've emptied thousands of dollars from our accounts. She looked heartbroken. I can explain. Then explain. Silence. The same silence. The same secrets. The same wall. Finally she whispered. I can't tell you yet. Something inside me broke. I walked out before she could say anything else. That night I slept in the guest room. For the first time in 18 years. The next morning Ava noticed immediately. She found me drinking coffee alone. Dad? I looked up. Her expression changed. What happened? I wanted to protect her. I really did. But after months of confusion, the words spilled out. I think your mother is hiding something. Ava frowned. What kind of something? I hesitated. Then I handed her the photograph. She stared at it. For a long moment she didn't speak. Finally she whispered. Who are these people? I don't know. Ava looked sick. No. What? Mom wouldn't do that. I wished I shared her confidence. But every clue pointed in the same direction. Every single one. The next few days became unbearable. Rachel kept trying to talk. I kept refusing. Every conversation ended with the same answer. I can't tell you. And every time she said it, my anger grew. Then came another twist. 3 days later I received a call from our bank. The representative needed authorization for a large transfer. $38,000. My knees nearly gave out. $38,000. Rachel wasn't just furnishing a house anymore. She was pouring our future into it. That afternoon I drove directly to the property. For the first time, I wasn't planning to watch from a distance. I wanted answers. Real answers. I parked across the street. The gray-haired man was unloading furniture. Rachel was inside. So was the teenage girl from the photograph. I marched toward the house. My pulse hammered. The front door stood slightly open. I could hear laughter inside. Happy laughter. Family laughter. The sound felt like a knife. I pushed the door open. The room instantly fell silent. Rachel turned around. Ethan? The older man froze. The girl looked confused. I barely noticed either of them. My eyes stayed locked on Rachel. I'm done. Her face crumpled. Ethan, please. No. I pointed around the room. The house. Then at the man. Him. Then at the girl. And whatever this is. The older man stepped forward. Maybe we should. No. I cut him off. You stay out of this. Rachel looked devastated. Please let me explain. You've had months. Tears filled her eyes. Not like this. I laughed. Not like this? My voice echoed through the house. I spent months believing I was losing my mind. The girl looked frightened. The older man gently moved her behind him. That only made me angrier. Protective. Like family. Like they belonged together. And I didn't. I looked directly at Rachel. Tell me the truth. She stared at the floor. Seconds passed. Then she whispered. I was trying to keep a promise. A promise to him? No. Then tell me. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I can't. That was it. The final blow. The final confirmation. No innocent person keeps this many secrets. No innocent person buys a house behind their spouse's back. No innocent person drains savings accounts for another family. At least that's what I believed. I turned toward the door. Call a lawyer. Rachel gasped. Ethan, don't. I'm done. Then something happened that stopped me cold. The gray-haired man spoke. For the first time, his voice wasn't calm. It cracked. Enough. The room went silent. He stepped toward me. His eyes were filled with tears. Not anger. Not guilt. Pain. Deep pain. The kind of pain that comes from carrying something too long. He reached into his jacket pocket and removed a worn photograph. Then he handed it to me. My stomach dropped. The picture showed a young woman. Maybe 20 years old. She looked strangely familiar. Very familiar. Too familiar. My hands began shaking. Because I had seen those eyes before. Every morning in the mirror. The older man's voice trembled. Look at the back. I turned the photograph over. 3 words were written there. My son, Ethan. I couldn't breathe. The room spun. My vision blurred. Slowly I lifted my head. The old man's eyes filled with tears. Rachel was crying openly now. The teenage girl covered her mouth. And then the man whispered the sentence that changed everything. Son. The word hit me like a freight train. I've waited 38 years to meet you. The room disappeared around me. All I could see was the photograph. All I could hear was that one word. Son. For 38 years, I had lived with a simple truth. My father abandoned me before I was born. That's what my mother told me. That's what my grandparents believed. That's what I had believed my entire life. Now a stranger stood in front of me claiming to be my father. And my wife had known. My knees nearly buckled. I grabbed the back of a chair. Rachel rushed forward. Ethan. I stepped away. No. My voice cracked. Tell me this isn't true. Fresh tears rolled down her face. I can't. I looked at the older man. His eyes were red. His hands trembled. The same way mine were trembling. My name is Michael Hayes, he said quietly. I stared at him. For the first time I noticed things I had missed before. The shape of his jaw. The color of his eyes. The way he stood. Tiny details. Tiny similarities. Enough to terrify me. Enough to make me wonder. Michael swallowed hard. Your mother was named Sarah. I froze. Rachel closed her eyes. The teenage girl quietly slipped from the room. Nobody stopped her. Nobody noticed. Michael reached into his wallet and removed another photograph. A younger version of my mother smiled beside a young man. Him. My chest tightened. How? My voice barely worked. Michael took a long breath. Because I loved her. Silence filled the room. Then he continued. We were engaged. My heart stopped. What? I asked her to marry me. The room spun again. My entire childhood story suddenly cracked apart. Michael sat down slowly. As if the memories physically hurt. We were 22. His voice shook. I had just accepted a construction job overseas. Rachel quietly sat beside him. She had clearly heard this story before. Many times. I was supposed to be gone for 6 months. Michael smiled sadly. Before I left, your mother told me she was pregnant. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. Michael stared at the floor. I was the happiest man alive. Then his smile vanished. When I came home. His voice broke. She was gone. What do you mean? I couldn't find her. His eyes filled with tears. Her parents told me she had moved. My stomach dropped. They told me she didn't want to see me. I stared at him. No. Michael nodded. They said she wanted nothing to do with me. The room became silent again. Then Rachel spoke softly. They lied. I looked at her. Rachel's eyes were swollen from crying. When your mother died 3 years ago. My heart tightened. Rachel continued. She left something for you. I stared. What? The box. The box. I knew exactly what she meant. A wooden box my mother had left behind. One I had never opened. One sitting untouched in our attic for years. Rachel continued. I opened it after she passed. I felt anger rise. You opened it? I was looking for legal documents. She wiped away tears. And I found letters. My pulse quickened. Letters? Rachel nodded. Hundreds. Michael looked away. Pain crossed his face. They were mine. The realization hit me. Hard. Michael had written. My mother had written. 4 years. And someone kept them apart. Rachel continued. Your grandparents intercepted every letter. I couldn't breathe. Every muscle in my body locked. They didn't approve of Michael. Her voice shook. They wanted your mother to marry someone else. I felt sick. Physically sick. They told her Michael abandoned her. Michael lowered his head. And they told me she abandoned me. The truth landed like a hammer. 2 young people. In love. Destroyed by lies. A child growing up without a father. A father searching for his son. 38 years stolen. Gone. Forever. I sank into a chair. My hands covered my face. Then the tears came. The kind of tears that start somewhere deep inside your soul. The kind you can't stop. The kind you don't even try to stop. For several minutes nobody spoke. Finally I looked at Rachel. The question burned inside me. You knew? She nodded slowly. 6 months ago. Why didn't you tell me? Fresh tears appeared. Because your mother begged me not to. What? Rachel reached into her purse. She handed me a folded letter. The handwriting was unmistakable. My mother's. My hand shook as I unfolded it. The letter was short. Very short. But every word shattered me. Rachel, if you ever find this, please promise me something. If Michael is still alive, help Ethan meet him. But only when the time is right. Don't force it. Don't tell him until you know for certain. Let him discover the truth with his heart open. I stole enough years from both of them already. Love, Sarah. I couldn't see the final lines through my tears. Rachel sat beside me. I hired investigators. I looked up. The phone calls. She nodded. The meetings. The money? The house. I stared. The house. The mysterious house. The thing that nearly destroyed my marriage. Rachel smiled through tears. It wasn't for a lover. Michael quietly laughed. The first laugh I'd heard from him. Rachel continued. It was for you. I blinked. What? Michael pointed toward the room around us. This house belonged to my parents. I looked around. Suddenly everything felt different. The family photos. The furniture. The atmosphere. Rachel smiled. It was falling apart. Michael nodded. I couldn't afford repairs. Rachel continued. I bought it because your father's health is failing. My stomach dropped. Michael looked away. That explained the tired eyes. The slow movements. The medications on the counter I had noticed earlier. Rachel reached for my hand. He didn't want charity. Michael chuckled sadly. Still don't. So I bought the house. Rachel squeezed my fingers. And fixed it. My eyes filled again. Every suspicious clue. Every secret phone call. Every bank withdrawal. Every mysterious meeting. Every hidden receipt. Every one of them had been an act of love. Not betrayal. Love. The very thing I had accused her of destroying. 3 months later, life looked completely different. Michael became a regular part of our family. Ava adored him. The teenage girl turned out to be my half-sister, Emily. We spent weekends together. Shared stories. Shared memories. Shared lost years. Nothing could recover the decades we missed. But we stopped wasting the time we still had. One autumn afternoon, Michael and I sat on the porch of the restored house. The sun painted the trees gold. Rachel laughed with Ava and Emily in the yard. For a while neither of us spoke. Then Michael quietly said, "You know what hurts the most?" I looked at him. What? Not losing 38 years. His eyes followed the family. It's knowing I almost lost the rest because neither of us knew the truth. I swallowed hard. Then I looked toward Rachel. The woman who had carried a burden she couldn't explain. The woman I nearly divorced. The woman who spent months reuniting a broken family. The woman I accused of betrayal while she was secretly giving me back my father. I smiled. No. Michael frowned. No what? The worst thing would have been never learning the truth at all. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he nodded. And for the first time in my life, I sat beside my father and watched my family laugh together. Sometimes what looks most like betrayal is actually love working quietly behind a locked door.